Hello friends, as you are aware, Hammurabi Tablet is doing a series Unsung Heroes of Legal Profession, and in this series I have come to M and J Services, which is a exclusive law selling bookshop in Fountain. Of course, it has other things than books also. This particular shop is catering to lawyers since last 52 years. So I'll speak to Mr. Vidyut Shah and we will get to know how everything is there. विद्युत सर, सबसे पहले आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद कि आपने हमें समय दिया. आप ये बोलिए कि हाउ दिस थॉट इवॉल्व्ड ऑफ स्टार्टिंग अ लॉ बुक 52 years back.
Okay, Rahul sir, firstly, before I answer this question, let me thank you and Hammurabi Tablet for taking this initiative of this genre called Unsung Heroes in Legal Profession. So, law booksellers have never been recognized in the past. I do not know whether they will be recognized in future, but today I am feeling so happy that Rahul sir and Hammurabi Tablet has taken this initiative of recognizing this profession, this support system to the profession. Thank you, Rahul sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So now coming back to the question what you asked, what was the thought process of starting this business? So this business was started on 1st April 1971 by my late grandfather, Mr. Navin Chandra Shah, and my great grandmother, Sulochana N. Shah. So they both started this business together from a small place in Bhandup, and from there we have evolved and have come to this place. So the idea of starting this business was there was a lot of vacuum for legal professionals on where to buy books, what to buy and how to buy, because that time we didn't have internet around.
Correct.
So people had to rely on physical books. Lot of publishers were international publishers, so we had to connect with those international publishers via those faxes, because emails were not there that time. So and written letters which we used to post to these foreign publishers and then get those information, seek books and then give it to our legal professionals here in India. So the idea was basically to fill this vacuum of requirement and bridge this gap between the publisher of law books and the legal professions who are actually wanting to read contents and understand how the legal profession evolves.
Okay. The next question in my mind is, what is an important aspect in book selling?
Okay. Just a small disclaimer before we start, and as I mentioned before the interview to Rahul sir, that I am not a good orator, I am not a good person to face the camera. So what he mentioned was very simple, that we do not need a good orator, we need only good information. So I will use the notes which I have made today just to give this information out.
Not an issue.
Okay. The most important aspect of book selling is the crucial aspect of book selling is giving highly relevant information, timely information, because laws keeps on evolving, lot of amendments happen, lot of notification comes in. So to keep legal professionals updated, so we have to have this kind of highly important, relevant and high quality valuable resources to be given to the legal profession.
Oh, that's
the idea of basically book selling and why legal book selling.
Okay. Next question is like, how do you select a publisher? किससे लेंगे आप? ऐसा क्या? How do you decide that?
Selecting a publisher, okay. So it all depends on how old the publisher has been in the market, how good authors, how many good authors the publishers have, and how frequently they update this content. So this is how we decide on the publisher. Sometimes there are new laws which come in and we have a level playing field for all the publishers. So it's basically the customers who will come and educate us as to which author is a good author.
Okay.
And that vice versa, it tells us which publisher is a good publisher. So that's the way we built up the entire catalog in our store.
Okay. Do you select the books and keep, or you keep it random?
As such, as a bookstore, we cannot select anything, but we try to maintain stocks for each and every genre or each and every subject within the law. So, and then let the customer decide what to buy and what not to buy. So, we will have the entire range of books for all the subjects. We try to maximize the collections and keep it limited to good publishers rather than having every publisher. Uh, I will not name any publisher here, but there are a lot of publishers who have the similar authors, similar authors, but not the original authors.
Okay.
So they are passing off authors. So we
Okay.
try to avoid those kind of publishers here in the store, at least.
Okay. Next question is, how do you decide what quantum of books you will buy?
Quantum of books is generally market driven, so we do not decide what books do we will be able to sell more. So generally, with the kind of experiences we have got over the years, we know what titles will sell, what authors will sell. For example, there was a recent book by Fali Nariman. So Fali Nariman sir is a very renowned jurist in this system. So by default, we have to have stocks for this book. So we generally, it's all market driven and it's all author driven. So there is no fixed formula on how do we build up this quantum of books or how do we order books.
ओके नाउ वन मोर क्वेश्चन कि अभी हम लोग आपके स्टोर में ही बैठे हैं तो कई सारे बुक्स मैं देख रहा हूँ ऊपर है नीचे हैं द वेरी ऑब्वियस क्वेश्चन कमिंग इन माई माइंड इज हाउ डू यू अरेंज दिस बुक ये बुक्स को आप मतलब कोई आपका फॉर्मूला है ABCD है ऑथर वाइज है पब्लिशर वाइज है लॉ वाइज है क्या है आपका हाउ डू यू अरेंज
Okay, so arrangement is basically there are systems, there are scientific ways of arrangements, but in the bookstore, since it's very limited, the genre is very limited. All the books, if you see around, are arranged alphabetically. So it's starting from A and ends up with Z. So it's all alphabetical. So it's easier for the customer also to go to a particular shelf and pick out the book out, and it's easier for the staff, me, or anybody to go to the shelf and pick that book out, even if somebody is not there to attend the customer.
ओके क्योंकि ये जो इतना बड़ा क्वांटम दिख रहा है इसको अरेंज करने में आपको इनफैक्ट मेंटेन करने में भी बहुत तकलीफ होता होगा
No, generally we understand it's there is a term called shelf life for a book. So आप generally वो book वो shelf में उसका लाइफ स्पैन कितना होगा, that is where we understand कि कौन सा book कब तक वो shelf में रहेगा.
ओके
So that's a scientific way of understanding or keeping the books in your shelf.
ओके I would like to ask you, your customer base is only advocates, judges or others. Who is your customer base?
So customer base generally, since this is a law bookstore, obviously we will have advocates and law professionals and judges in the store. But we also have researchers who are researching on law. We also have foreigners who have interest in Indian law, who are doing their research in Indian law. And we also have judges, sitting judges. We have ex-CJI, we have not the current CJI but ex-CJIs, and a lot of people, law students, people who are interested in doing legal research, and general public who somewhere or the other have to understand law or would like to know about basic rights of the citizen or something like that.
ओके मतलब लॉ स्टूडेंट्स के लिए भी आपके पास बुक्स हैं
For law students also and for laymen also we have books. So people who are not related to law but still would like to understand something about law, we have books for them also.
ओके नाउ ऑब्वियस क्वेश्चन इज फॉरेन पब्लिकेशंस डू यू हैव दोस बुक्स विथ यू
Foreign publications, yes. We import lot of foreign books. Basically, the idea of having foreign books here in India is that the content, because we are more of a colonial country, the Britishers have ruled us in the past, so our laws are more or less loosely based on the British law. So we import those books. People have a different understanding about their content writing, the way they write, the way they interpret. So it also helps them in our Indian courts. So that's the reason we also see a market for foreign books in India.
Okay. Now looking at this huge book quantums, how do you do your inventory management?
That's a tough question to answer. Inventory management, basically the first thing will come to you is that we have softwares. We don't have softwares to work on inventory. So basically our inventory is managed by maybe, as I said in the past, we generally maintain stock levels. We also have that scientific way of learning the stock, the shelf life of a particular book, and that's the way how we maintain our inventories across the store.
Okay, okay. Any specific strategies you derive for increasing the footfall in the store?
Uh, Something very, that's a trade secret. I do not know whether you want me to share
You may
that.
not answer it.
No, I will still answer it. It's To be honest, we don't do anything to draw customers to our store. It is the customer who helps us to draw their friends, their colleagues to our store. So we give them the best service. It's the customer referrals which help us to get this customer and other customers to our store. So there is no rocket science in there. We are an honest seller. We don't try to sell things. We don't try to pitch things. Whatever the customer needs, we understand their requirement. We feed them their content,
Contents.
and then it's then purely by reference. If they are happy with our service, they will refer more customers to us. That's how we have built.
Okay. Now, I'll tell you a situation. Like there is a very popular book है, and it is in demand. लोग आपसे मांग रहे हैं, but unfortunately it is not available with you. So how do you handle this kind of situation?
Okay. Two options. Demand अगर है किताब का and the book is available in the market, we try to maintain stock. For as I said, Fali Nariman Saab ka book which recently came out was selling like hotcakes. So we maintain inventories for those. Sometimes we lose out on inventories. We don't have inventories. One customer might walk in, might buy about 10 copies, 15 copies, and we are out of stock. So generally, the new customer, we try to convince them or tell them that this book is currently out of stock. If it's not in stock with us, we try to either tell him to go to some other store where he can find it. If he's still wanting to buy it from us, we will request him to wait for a few days. We will organize those stocks for him and we will supply to him.
Okay.
So it's entirely the customer choice whether they want to buy it from us or they would like to go to some other seller. But our conversion ratio, since we are transparent about this, customers would come back to us and say that आप ही मंगा के दे दीजिए, we will take it.
They'll
from
wait
you.
for them.
Yes. Now second scenario where the book is completely out of print and people are still wanting to buy that or read that book. So recently I would like to show you this book. So this book is famous judges of the Bombay High Court and cases of the Bombay High Court.
Yeah.
Very famous author. We had been this book was completely out of print for some time, and customers were wanting to read this book. It's a very interesting book and it's a recommended book, and customer wanted to read this book, and we have been contacting publishers. It took us 3 years to convince the publisher to print this book again.
3 years.
3 years. So publishers were in two minds, since it's a very old book, whether this book will sell, whether there would be demand for this book. So we gave them a simple option out. Whatever you print, we will take the entire stocks from you.
Okay.
But the customer who comes to me should not go empty-handed without this book, because this book has a very resourceful content and it is a must read for everybody. So this is the second scenario.
Okay.
So this is how we work for people, for books which are not in stock or for books which are out of print.
Okay. Now, do you require to train your staff?
Basic training, yes, but then staff also is refined, so they also by experience learn what they have to show to customers. So if they basic understanding they have, they will understand what they want, the customers what they want. They will try to show the customers what. If there is some complexity in the issue, they'll try to resolve it. If not, then I am there, or my dad is there who's sitting in the store who will help you.
Okay. Now, how do you cater to the diverse range of customers? Like लॉ में कई सारी कमेंट्रीज आती है, तो एक ही लॉ पे फॉर एग्जांपल कॉन्ट्रैक्ट, उस पे 4 ऑथर लिखते रहते हैं. सो ये जो डाइवर्स डिमांड आपके पास आती है कि समझो मैं आया, मैंने एक्स ऑथर बोला आपको, कोई दूसरा आया वो वाई ऑथर बोला, तो ये हाउ डू यू मैनेज दिस काइंड ऑफ अ डाइवर्स रेंज ऑफ टेस्ट ऑफ योर कस्टमर्स?
So diverse range of taste is I am not able to because we do not manage this taste honestly. For us, customer is our teacher and our mentor. They will come to us. They will ask for the book. We will supply them the book. But for this diverse taste, we try to have maximum authors on a particular subject so that people will have a variety, or the customers or the lawyers who are walking in the store will have some choices to decide from.
Okay.
So once they know, and once there are chances that they will come back to us asking us what would you prefer, or what would you like to suggest us. So there where our expertise come into picture, where we'll tell them this is the book which sells more. You check this book out, check the content out, compare with this book, and then take a call which one you are. The customer has to be comfortable reading the book.
Okay.
So it's the final decision is the customers. But yes, we try to maintain on a particular subject about 5-6 authors so that people will have a choice to choose the content from.
Okay. And how do you keep yourself updated into the trends, changing of trends in legal field, legal industry regarding books?
We have been in the field for so many years, so something has come to us very naturally. So, and it's now inbuilt into our system. How do we do this? We do our own research. We have our own ways of learning things, and as I said, customers are our teachers and our mentors. They always come to us. They will always teach us something, and they will always mentor us. They will always give us good advices as to which books will sell, what's happening in the legal field, and what might happen in future in the legal field. So that gives us a brief idea, and then we build upon it.
Okay.
So this is how we actually keep ourselves updated with how things work in the legal profession.
Okay. Now I want to ask you, we are being seeing a lot of artifacts, lot of excellent kind of gift articles which are very much relevant to the legal profession. So how this thought, how this thing evolved कि ये रखना है मुझे, ये कैसे हुआ?
So maybe probably you are the first person to ask this to me, and I'll answer this because it's something very pet project to us. This started as an experiment. So when we were here, when we started the store in Fort, there were few customers who had walked in and asked us that मेरे sir का birthday है, so हम क्या gift दें? So we have a section for general reading books there. So I said कि वहाँ से अच्छा सा सर किताब ले लीजिए. बोला नहीं सर बहुत सीनियर है, ये सब तो पढ़ा रहेगा उन्होंने. So आप कुछ और सजेस्ट कीजिए. So then I was just, well, honestly, I was not able to sell to that customer that time anything. He just walked out. But that customer gave me an idea as to there is a very big vacuum in the profession. So if you see, this profession is just black and white. There are no colors to this profession. Your clothings are black and white. Your books are black and white. So there is nothing. There are no colors to it. So I thought I will add some colors to it. So I started with coffee mugs.
Okay.
So mugs were designed for professionals, specific for legal professionals, and that's how it started. So some projects have succeeded very well. Some projects have failed miserably.
Okay.
I have burnt my hands, and some products have succeeded to that level that some people have copied to it, have copied our products. Sometimes we feel bad about it, but it also makes us happy that we have inspired somebody to copy a product.
Okay.
So this is how the idea is, but we are still developing, we are still experimenting, and we will keep on doing that.
It's really good. I will also like to thank you because we have also taken a lot of times. This kind of gift is really a nice thing to give to any advocate.
I agree, but this concept was never there in India. I do not know why. Because if you see earlier days, lawyers' chambers had no, except for a law calendar which will list out the list of holidays in courts, there was nothing hanging on their walls. So we started with posters also for lawyers. So this gives life to a chamber or to lawyer's office. It makes you feel more energetic.
Lively. Okay.
So the idea was behind it is to make your workplace more lively. So if you see our desk also, our desk is also lively. You will see a word justice there which has all the legal Latin terms there. So these are our concepts.
Okay.
Developed, invested, created and failed some cases. So this
That
is
is
how
a
it
part
works.
and parcel of.
That's
With this, sir, I will come to the last question now, and that is about your views regarding ebook and its impact on the physical book store business.
okay. Ebooks, yes, it has impacted physical books, and I will narrate two incidents to you, and I will let your viewers and yourself decide between physical books and ebooks. I will give you two narrations and two real-time stories which has happened. And for one, I was a witness, and for the other one, I had got this information from one of the leading publishers. So I will start with the information which I was part of it. I opened store very early. So I had one professor who had walked in early morning and he was browsing around, and I just happened to ask him, sir, if you are looking for something else, I can help you with something. So he mentioned he asked me the same question, Vidyut, what do you think about books and ebooks? US is entirely ebooks. You are still selling physical books. So I happened to tell him this, okay, sir, I do not know about US, but for me, my father used to do maths on his fingertips. Why? Because he has learned from books. He has written those formulas and have learned and from there. Today, if you ask me my wife's mobile number, I have to find out my mobile, search for her name and then dial her number. I don't even have 5 numbers on my fingertips. Why? Because everything is called digital. So when you have something which is tangible, your retention level of that information is much higher than what you read from an electronic device. Secondly, if you see, books are evolutions, not revolutions, are evolutions. They have developed and come over the years. They have just passed through generations. Whereas something which is electronic, or maybe for that matter ebooks, they are revolutions. They will come, they will have their life and they will pass away. So if you see, for example, your telephones,
Correct.
we had those dialing numbers, then this numbers, then we had pagers, then we had mobile phones. You see the change, how technology has changed very fast. So to adopt that technology, it's not easy for everybody to adapt to the technology. Whereas books, a small child, a 1-year-old child can pick up the book and start reading without his parents or her parents telling her, nahi nahi nahi, आँख खराब हो जाएगा.
Correct.
Whereas for digital, you have to have some technology understanding and then start using those things. So there is a difference between ebook and or physical books and all. Now I'll come specifically to the answer your question on legal books. This publisher from he is a multinational publisher. I'll not name any of them here. So this guy, a foreigner from Australia, happened to have a breakfast with one of our ex-chief justice at his bungalow. This foreigner went to ex-chief justice and said, "Sir, the whole world is moving towards E. Why are not Indian courts moving towards E? Or why are your researches not moved towards E? Why are you still referring those books and open your books on your desk and read them?" So this gentleman, this ex-CJ of ours, very sarcastically told him, not maybe it's not sarcastic is not a right term, but what he said to him was very interesting. He said, "I can smell books." That's a very interesting statement. I can smell books, which you can actually
It's actually people
smell
have
the book.
that,
that there is an aura.
Yeah.
So this is what statement this ex CJI passed, and there was one other interesting statement what he said. Okay, my friend, when I'm researching for a particular case, I refer to 10 different books. I'm referring for this point of law, and finally when I'm researching for this particular case, I suddenly realize that this reference where I'm reading from a book might be relevant to some other case also which I am handling. So this is what I can do in a physical research rather than an e-research. Also, the trends are now that there is a lot of misinformation coming in rather than information. So people go to Google, type in something for e-research, without reading it they just put it in their briefs and then they are presenting in the court. Sometimes it damages their cases. This is what the statement was. So it's a very interesting thing. So I leave it to the viewers and to you to decide whether e-books and physical books, which one is better. I understand both will supplement each other, but books are here to stay, they will not go.
Yeah. Idhu sir, I would give my thought on this. My thought is physical books will always remain because that pleasure is different. You don't have pleasure in e-book. There is some different pleasure when the book is in your hand, you are looking at it. It's a different pleasure. I don't know, but my thought is it will stay.
They have to stay, sir. And I'll tell you one the interesting part. This also adds value to your shelf. And this you can pass to generations.
Yes. Yes. There are instances where renowned advocates who expired, their entire library was donated to some district court.
So it actually gives value to somebody else also. Electronic things, I agree, it's easier for you to carry in the courts. Your mobility is faster, your research is faster. But your retention, I feel, sometimes might be much lesser than what you read from your physical books.
This will create memory. E-book will not create memory.
This are, yes, I agree. That I agree.
You cannot have a memorial library by keeping a tablet.
No, you cannot.
So anyway, Vidyut sir, thank you very much for your interaction, giving your time, and once again we are thankful for catering to the legal profession, and we wish you all the best for the same.
Thank you, Rahul sir. Thank you so much for having us on board.
On our
And
pleasure.
I wish you all the very luck for your future projects. And you are doing a very noble cause, Rahul sir. And maybe I do not know. God is behind you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Vidyut sir, first of all, thank you very much for giving a very nice information as regards the entire book selling concept and everything. हमूराबी की तरफ से ऑल द बेस्ट कि इसी तरह से आप एडवोकेट लोगों की सेवा करते रहो, नए नए बुक्स, अच्छे अच्छे बुक्स हमें मिले, और इसीलिए हमूराबी की तरफ से एक छोटा मोमेंटो सर आपके लिए.
Thank you.